How you doing? I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Today I wanted to do a video on alcohol in food, right? You know, you often hear of beer in food or wine in food, wine in sauces, brandy in sauces, you know, different types of alcohol that are put into food, and should you be eating those? You know, you have to look at this from the perspective of alcohol in general, right? You know, if your aim is to never have another drop of alcohol inside your body, you're going to fail, right? Because alcohol is a natural part of our world, right? It's a natural part of your digestive processes, right? So every time you eat, you know, the way your digestion works, it produces a certain amount of alcohol inside your body, and there's nothing you can do about that. You know, if you like eating fruit, at some stage or another you're going to eat a fruit which is overripe, and that is a small amount of alcohol in that, right? Now, when you're starting out with this thing, I would advise everyone to avoid all alcohol at all costs, right? So you don't take alcohol in your food. If there's alcohol in your sauce, if there's alcohol in your trifle, if there's alcohol in the cakes that you're eating, don't eat it, right? Try to avoid it. If you eat it and you don't know you're eating, and somebody says to you afterwards, "Oh man, you know there was red wine in that sauce," you know, then don't freak out about it. It's happened, you know. It's not something that you should be taking into consideration, right? If you can avoid it altogether. I also say to people, you know, in the beginning, for me personally, it was very difficult to even think about alcohol-free beers, right, in the beginning, because it just reminded me of drinking beer, and it was that close to the beer that I knew there was something missing. I can have an alcohol beer now, and I don't notice that the alcohol is missing. It just tastes like this beer-like substance, right? I know there's no alcohol in it, so I know I can drink it, and I'm not going to get brain fucked with it, right? So I know there's no problem for me drinking that now, right? The whole point of me not drinking alcohol, right? The whole point of this whole thing, it's not about the alcohol, right? It's about the behavior of me or you sitting there and consuming a large amount of alcohol, right? Large amount of wine or beer or whiskey or whatever it is, for the sole purpose of getting you drunk, right? Of putting you into a state where you can relax, you can sleep, you can get rid of the problems for a while. Whatever it is that you're using alcohol for, that is the prime purpose of this, right? Is to not put alcohol into your mouth, right? As a way of dealing with anything, right? So if you take that out of the equation, right, then why would you put this poison into your mouth in the first place, right? So you're not putting it in to get a buzz, you're not putting it in to relax, you're not putting it in to help you sleep, you're not putting it in because it's got a great taste, you know, and that's just an excuse anyway, but, you know, that's for another video. But if you're not putting it in for any of those reasons, why the fuck would you put this stuff into your mouth in the first place? And that's what I'm saying to you. You know, if you have alcohol as part of a sauce, the likelihood is that most of the alcohol is going to be burnt off, right? The alcohol is not, by the way, cooking doesn't kill all the alcohol, right? It doesn't just evaporate. It takes a long time, and it takes a certain amount of heat before that alcohol disappears, right? So don't be thinking that, you know, all alcohol that's cooked into stuff is going to be disappearing, right? But I'm saying that, you know, the quantities of alcohol that you would have in any food, in any sauce, right, are very small, right? Then they're minute bits of alcohol. It's like some people say, well, you know, like in alcohol-free beers, you know that there's actually 1.101% of alcohol. So, you know, you're actually not drinking alcohol-free beer. Well, yeah, it doesn't make any difference. The whole point is that you would have to drink so many of these beers to get you drunk that the liquid itself would probably kill you before you got a buzz out of it, right? So, you know, that's what I'm saying to you, is avoid this stuff in the beginning. If you're 2, 3, 4 years down the road, right, then if you want to have a sherry trifle, you want to have a little bit of sherry trifle, don't be thinking that, no, I can't be doing this because of the alcohol, man, you know. I don't think that's, I think it's just it's a prison that you put yourself into, right? If you think it's going to affect you, don't take it, right? If you think the bit of brandy in the Christmas cake is going to affect you, don't eat it, right? I know it's not affecting me, so I have no problem with my sister saying to me, yeah, there's a bit of brandy in that, you okay with that? Yeah, you know, I've stopped the behaviour of my drinking. I've stopped myself from going out and getting drunk and that affecting my whole life. That was the whole point of stopping drinking alcohol for me. It's the whole point of stopping drinking alcohol. If you sort of focus on the alcohol, then, you know, you've got problems. You know, it's the behaviour that you've got to get rid of. If you don't do anything to get rid of the behaviour, then, as I say, you've got some serious issues to deal with. So deal with the alcohol, deal with the behaviour, and the alcohol will just sink into the background. It doesn't make any difference anymore. It's of no consequence. Until next time, I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Stay safe. Keep the alcohol out of your mouth as much as you possibly can. You know, keep the alcohol out of your mouth in terms of you're not sitting there drinking stuff, right? Drinking it, and trying to get drunk. You know, you're trying to keep the behaviour gone. Onwards and upwards. Take care. Bye now. Just as an end to this video, before I stop, I just want to say that I never put alcohol into my own food, right? I don't agree with that, right? Alcohol is still a poison, right? So if I'm looking at a recipe and it calls for alcohol in it, I'll leave the alcohol out of it, right? If I'm in a restaurant and I see this food with alcohol in it, I won't buy the food. What I'm talking about here is if I'm in somebody's house, right, say Christmas, and they give me a piece of Christmas cake and they tell me that there's some brandy in the Christmas cake. Now I know that a lot of that brandy is going to be gone, right, for a start, right? And a lot of the sugar that's in the cake is going to be bad for me. There's a lot of other stuff that's in that cake which I don't normally eat, right? There's a lot of butter that's in the cake which I wouldn't normally eat. I'm, you know, like for the most part, I'm whole foods plant-based, so I don't eat any of that crap, right? I don't eat animal products at all. But I'm in somebody's house. I love Christmas cake, so I'm not going to refuse the Christmas cake, right? If I was making my own Christmas cake, there wouldn't be any brandy in it. Right? If I was making my own trifle, there wouldn't be any sherry in it. There wouldn't be any alcohol in it, right? If I go and get an alcohol-free beer, I try and get a beer which is 0.0, right? There's no alcohol in it. Now I know that, you know, that you can't get every minute drop of alcohol out of the alcohol beer, free beer, but I'm not bothered about that. It's, you know, the whole point is that I am not deliberately putting any more alcohol into my body, right? I don't deliberately put any animal products into my body, right? I don't deliberately put any butter or fat or any of that kind of stuff into my body, right? Put the right types of fat in, you know. It's another story, but you know what I'm saying. So I just wanted to make that clear. So until next time, onwards and upwards. Take care. Bye now.